Hi everyone, this is Shalini Kumar again from OSCE Nurse Training Cambridge. I'm an experienced OSCE Nurse trainer for the NMC OSCE exam in UK and the lead trainer for OSCE Nurse Training Cambridge. I'm also a NMC registered nurse with lots of clinical experience with patient bedside and also experience in supporting undergraduate and overseas nurses in their education. Okay, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like my videos, please press the like button now and subscribe to my channel. So I'm back with another NMC OSCE video for you about your NMC OSCE exam. Keep those comments coming. They do help me to see what you guys would like me to do next in my video series. Okay, so today's video, again, I'm just following the order from last 2 weeks. So I did overview of API scenarios a couple of weeks ago. Then last week I did the clinical skills overview. Today we're going to follow the same pattern and look at all the different topics, which are 11 topics for professional value station. Okay. So we will look at what is this station, what you have to do, which you know what you probably have to do, but what is every topic. And we're going to talk a little bit about it and then tell you some tips along the way, how to remember the topic easily and how to write your answers easily. So we will discuss all that in today's video. So it just gives you a kind of a very good revision tool to revise all your professional values with a little bit of hints and tips. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at today. Right, okay, so on to the first screen here. So why is professional value station part of your OSCE syllabus and exam? Because it checks your knowledge about the NMC code. So in UK, when you are a professional nurse, there are some acceptable behaviors. There are some behaviors which are expected of you as a professional nurse, okay? And there are some behaviors which are completely unexpected or unacceptable. Acceptable, I should say, is not acceptable at all according to the NMC code if a registered nurse displays those behaviors. Okay, so it's very much checking your knowledge. What are the correct professional behavior for a registered nurse who is on NMC register? Okay, so that's the whole point and purpose of this station being in your exam, because it's really important as overseas nurse or any nurse, registered nurse, but especially when you come from overseas, because there are certain aspects of the nursing culture which are different in UK, and it's just bringing you in line with those by revising these topics and doing this station in your exam. Okay, that's the purpose. It is a written station. It's a 10-minute station. You will be given a scenario to read. There are 11 topics. Now they are the same for certain part of the register. So if you're doing adult OSCE or mental health, learning disability and children nursing, any of these four, they are the same 11 topics which are part of your syllabus for those nursing fields, okay, which is adult, mental health, learning disability and children nursing. So you will be given one topic out of the 11. Okay, so you will be, after reading the scenario, then you will have to write your actions. It means write what you will do in that case as bullet points, and they become your answers. Okay, so that's how the professional value station work in your exam, based on your professional behaviors. Okay, that's what is checking the knowledge of. Right, moving on to the next screen. Now we will talk about different topics, just discuss it quickly, but for every topic I've already covered it on the separate YouTube video. So if you, I will add the link of the playlist for the professional value station to the description of this video below. Okay, so if you just go to the playlist, you should be able to revise every topic individually with the correct answers, and because the answers are in NMC marking criteria, but I have changed the language to make it easier for you to remember, because it's okay to change the wording as long as the meaning doesn't change. So wherever I can, I have possibly changed the language a little bit to make it easier and simple for you to learn. So they're all there, but we are going to do the overview and look at these topics again today. So let's go to obviously the next screen here, which is So what are those topics? They are displayed on your screen, so we'll just take one from the top. So bullying. So the first topic is about bullying. So it is about if you witness bullying at work. So say, for suppose your scenario is something like this. So one of your colleagues, who is your friend colleague at work, is getting bullied by another registered nurse. Okay, so one of the registered nurses in your team is bullying one of the other nurses, and you are the witness person. You're witnessing this incident. So what is your professional behavior? What does your professional responsibility in that case, and how will you deal with this scenario? Okay, so what will be your actions as a professional nurse if you witness bullying at work? Okay, so like I said, I've done the topic in detail and the answer, but just as an overview, of course, bullying is not an acceptable behavior because it goes against the human rights, and of course your employer has a duty to provide you a safe working environment. If bullying is happening, it's not safe working environment, and yes, it does need to be reported because it's not acceptable behavior from a registered nurse. So it does need to be reported to your manager, and it may get reported to NMC because you do need to be following duty of candor. So if your duty of candor tells you to be open and honest at all times, so if you don't, it can put your own registration at risk, and of course then you will go ahead and so first acknowledging your duty to report it, then you will go ahead and report the incident to your manager, both verbally and in writing. Then because you witnessed it, so your manager may ask you to do witness statement. And there are another couple of points regarding encouraging your colleague who is getting bullied to report this as well. So and then upholding the values set in the code will be your last point. So so that would be kind of, you can change the order of the points, but you can't change the meaning. So the points should be the same, but the order can be altered. If that happens, that's okay, right? So that's kind of that topic. Like I said, the full answers, written answers on the slides are in the video, in the playlist. You can watch that. Next one is drug error. So that's a quite common issue. Of course, anybody can make a drug error as a registered nurse. These things shouldn't happen, but they do happen occasionally. So if you say, scenario will be, if you made a drug error, what is your next action? Of course, drug error, we all know, can put our patient at risk of moderate to serious harm. That's the first thing to recognize. Second thing is, go and check your patient vitals, make your patient is stable, call for help, call the doctor who is looking after the patient and the nurse in charge. Then you do need to tell the patient that you have made a drug error and apologize. It needs to be documented in patient notes, the incident and the actions you have taken or any consequences for the patient. And also you need to complete the incident form. Then you need to reflect on your error and learn from it and see what are your learning needs. You may like to visit the drug policy protocol again. Okay, and then last point will be upholding the values set in the code. So that's just that one in a simple way. Moving on to next one is, which is falsifying observations. Now again, very popular topic. So it's about that you ask, say the scenario is something along the lines that you asked one of your colleagues to do your patient's vitals because you were probably doing something else at that time. Now the colleague you asked to do the vitals, this registered nurse, she hasn't done the vitals, but she just didn't do the actual vitals, but she documented a set of vitals in patient notes without doing them. So okay, so in doing that, she has falsified patient vitals, and you come to know about it, that she has falsified these vitals and she didn't do the vitals, but she made a set of vitals and just wrote in patient notes. Okay, so what is your responsibility as a professional nurse in that case? Again, it is related to patient safety, this scenario. So the first point, of course, it is a dishonest behavior because by falsifying observation, your colleague has deliberately misrepresented the care given to the patient. Okay, it's misrepresentation of the care and can have a high impact of harm to your patient. So next thing is you need to go ahead and check your patient vitals to maintain patient safety. Then yes, this needs to be reported. Again, it's an unacceptable dishonest behavior from a professional nurse, need to be reported to your manager. And if you don't report and it may get reported to NMC. If you don't report you put your own registration at risk because you're not following duty of candor. And then again, you go ahead and report both in writing and verbal, and then because it's related to your patient, so it does need to be written in your patient notes and an incident form completed, and then upholding the values set in the code. But do look at it. I'm just giving you overview summary, okay, of every topic, but go ahead because I might forget. I'm doing all these topics, I might forget a hard one point, so you just go ahead and look in the individual video how to write. I'm just giving you quick pointers, okay, discussing the topic with you. Moving on to next one is falsifying timesheets. So again, this can happen. This scenario is more written from the point of view from a temporary staff or agency staff or something. I'm not saying this happens, but this is just your scenario, okay? So they will say you have witnessed one of the temporary staffing member is falsifying timesheet. So they are putting extra hours. They haven't worked on their timesheet and they ask me to sign that timesheet. So what is your professional responsibility in this case? So again, it's a dishonest behavior because falsifying timesheet for personal financial gain is completely dishonest behavior. It's unacceptable. It does need to be reported to your manager and also to the temporary staffing manager. Again, if it's your duty to report if you don't, then you will put your registration at risk, and then you may be asked to do a witness statement about the whole incident, and you will sign and date the witness statement. Also, you will write the name of the manager you reported the incident to in the witness statement, and your last point about upholding the value set in the code. Moving on to the and sometime in individual topics you have to see where it relates to which part of the code when you're writing your last point, okay? So that's that. Next one is hospital food. Again, these all topics are, like I said, covered individually in the playlist for the full answers. Hospital food is more about if you witness one of your colleagues who is a registered nurse eating the food which is meant for the patient, then what would you do about it? Again, first thing is it is a dishonest behavior. You need to find an alternative meal for your patient, and then you need to, of course, it's your professional duty to report it. Then you go ahead and report it to your manager. Then you may have to do a witness statement. And the last point about the value set in the code, okay? So that's important that you relate every topic to the value of the code, okay? So that's fine. Set in the code. Next one is impaired performance. So this is all about, so if you think about a scenario where one of your colleagues, the registered nurse, has come to work under the influence of the alcohol and they're not fit to work, okay, clinically, because it will put your patient safety at risk. So what is your professional duty in that case? Of course, you do need to recognize that your colleagues' social behavior can be again can put your patient's clinical safety at risk, okay? So they are not the person is not fit to work, so that does need to be reported to your manager, and it's your professional duty to report it, and you do need to report it as soon as possible, both verbally and written. And then also you will think about your colleagues' safety to get back home, not only just working but also getting back home, and they might need some help with alcohol misuse problem. So those are the other few points you need to consider, and then you may need to do a witness statement. And again, your values in the code, because this behavior doesn't promote professionalism and trust, which is the one of the pillars in your code, okay? So that's how it relates to the code, because as a registered member of nursing profession, it's our duty that we uphold that trust in the public. And if a nurse is working under the effect of alcohol, of course that doesn't promote public trust, okay? So that's about that and professionalism. moving on to the laboratory results. So this is just a quick one. Like I said, it's all done, but you can watch the video. But this is more about just one of your colleagues who work with you have a neighbor admitted to the ward, and the colleague is calling you from home to ask about the neighbor's blood test reports. Now, laboratory results. Are you allowed to give those results to anyone? No, they are confidential, and this topic is about protecting the patient confidentiality according to the guidance on the who you can share patient information with. Okay, so GDPR, so it's a process, and the people you share patient information should be only the people who are directly looking after that patient. So in this case, you're not going to give the results to your colleague. And then you will convey that message in a compassionate way to your colleague. But do again, just check the video and you will find that what the answers are. The next one is possible abuse. So this is all about if you suspect. It's about safeguarding this topic. So if you suspect one of your patient could be abused, that you suspect abuse in them, any kind of abuse, what would you do as a professional nurse? Of course, as a professional nurse, we all do safeguarding training. Of course, it needs to be reported, and you do need to check your patient. You do need to communicate with your patient, reassure them, and also it needs to be reported as per safeguarding protocol to your manager or your safeguarding lead in the local area. So again, read that topic, okay, from the video I have already done. And then is the racism. Okay, so again, very popular topic. So this is about so if one of your nurses, registered nurses, who you are a friend over the social media or otherwise, and you see them posting racial comments on the social media, what is your responsibility? I know it's not happening at work, but again, in UK, as a registered nurse, it's not acceptable behavior from a registered nurse who's a registered professional to have those views in the first place or be posting those views on the social media, because we should be treating everybody with respect and dignity, and that's again not acceptable behavior, and the answers are in the video, so please go ahead and watch those. And then the next one is social media. Again, very similar, but this is about one of your colleagues who's a registered nurse, and you are friends with each other on the social media, and you see them, then they are posting patient pictures or about their medical problems or diagnoses or medical information and patient pictures on the social media without their consent. Again, that's absolutely unacceptable behavior from a registered nurse. So again, that has to be reported, same as the racism. So this has to be reported again. So just go the video and watch that one. Okay. So next one is witness abuse. So this is about if you see one of your colleagues using outdated patient handling technique. So they are moving the patient up the bed by dragging them under the arms rather than using a sliding sheet. Okay, so and also they are speaking harshly to the patient. So is that acceptable behavior from a registered nurse? Absolutely not. If you use outdated handling techniques, they do count as physical abuse. So it's really important that whatever techniques you use to move your patient are all updated according to the new evidence. So if you see one of your colleagues doing this to your patient, of course it will count as abuse, physical abuse, and it does need to be reported and need to be documented in patient notes. Patient needs to be reassured. Also, you need to check on your patient they haven't suffered any harm. And then again, you will have to do witness statement and then upholding the value set in the code. So I hope this all makes a little bit easier overview of different topics to discuss with you. Like I said, every topic is covered in good detail on the separate videos which you really do need to watch to get the full answers. I was just only giving you quick pointers to make it easier, because if you actually have a logic behind it and discuss it as professionals with each other, it gets much easier to remember these professional values, because there's a lot to memorize. And if you can make your life easier by understanding it, and of course it's just these topics are so good because they really do actually questions our behavior in some ways, and it make us think, right? If I was in that situation, what would I do? And these things happen. So, if you come across, at least you know what would be the correct answer as a professional nurse in that case. So, I find these topics really interesting to learn. So, that was the whole point, to just give you a bit of an overview on them, and then you can watch individual videos. I hope you like the video. If you do, please press the like and subscribe. Share it with your other friends and colleagues who may be preparing for NMC OSCE exam. We give full NMC OSCE training. So if you are interested in our training, first thing is go and watch our Google reviews from our nurses who've been taking our training over last so many years. Okay, so you have a good idea what you're gonna get into your training. And you can email us on oscenurstraining@outlook.com. Visit us on our website oscenurstraining.com. I will soon be back with another video for you. So bye for now.